They called him the boy with a broken brain. He couldn't remember a sentence. He couldn't focus for more than 30 seconds. He fell so far behind. Teachers told his parents he might never catch up. But today, CEOs, elite athletes, NASA, even Hollywood, they pay him to train their minds. So what happened? And more importantly, what did he learn that they never taught you in school? Because this isn't just Jim Kwik's story. It might be your breakthrough. Jim Kwik grew up believing he was less than average. When he was 5 years old, he suffered a traumatic brain injury. He fell, hit his head, and everything changed. His ability to learn, concentrate, and remember things seemed to vanish. In class, he would sit quietly, trying to avoid the teacher's gaze, terrified of being called on. While other kids read books, he struggled to follow a single paragraph. Math problems felt like unsolvable puzzles. Group projects became sources of anxiety and shame. His classmates teased him. His teachers pitted him. "Your son has a learning disability." One said, "He may never read properly." He was nicknamed the boy with a broken brain. That label didn't just hurt. It defined him. Here's the truth about labels. When you hear something often enough, it becomes your reality. It becomes your identity. Jim didn't believe he was smart. He believed he was broken. And what do broken people do? They hide. They avoid. They settle. Ever had a moment where you thought, maybe I'm just not cut out for this? That voice in your head? That's not you. That's the world talking through you. By the time Jim reached his teenage years, he was drowning in fear and self-doubt. He barely passed the classes. Reading a book took days. Memorizing facts was torture. Every failure just reinforced a belief that his brain was defective. He began developing intense anxiety. Simple conversations triggered panic. Every day felt like walking into a battlefield armed with nothing. He watched classmates raise their hands with confidence, while he sat in silence, staring at his desk, praying to go unnoticed. Imagine being trapped in your own mind, knowing you're capable of more, but unable to access it. That was Jim's daily life. But what if your struggle isn't proof that you're broken? What if it's a sign you're built for something more? This was Jim's breaking point, and it would soon become his breakthrough. Fast forward to college. Jim is 18. He's determined to make something of himself. But the same problems follow him. Reading assignments take triple the time. He forgets everything after lectures. His self-esteem is in pieces. And the pressure? It's unbearable. He starts skipping meals, sleep, and social life, hoping more hours equals better results. Then it happens. He collapses from exhaustion. He ends up in a hospital. The doctors tell him his brain is overstimulated, overworked, overwhelmed. And lying there, tubes in his arms, pain in his chest, questions in his head, he realizes something. If I don't learn how to learn, I'll never make it. That moment of desperation became his spark of transformation. Jim made a decision. He would no longer be a victim of his brain. He would become its master. He stopped trying harder. He started learning smarter. He devoured books on neuroscience, psychology, speed reading memory. He spoke to experts, attended seminars, reverse engineered the habits of geniuses. He learned how to take notes effectively. He discovered memory techniques used by mental athletes. He built daily habits that trained his focus like a muscle. He applied visualization, mental mapping, and active recall. And as he tested what he learned on himself, something began to shift. He could suddenly remember names. He finished books in a day. He could study for hours without fatigue. He began to rebuild not just his learning ability, but his identity. From broken to brilliant, from forgotten to unforgettable, he began teaching others. First his friends, then small groups. He realized that the hunger to learn, grow, and succeed was universal. but the methods were missing. Ever read the same page over and over again and still have no idea what you just read? Yeah, that's not your fault. That's bad learning design. Jim realized that school teaches what to learn, but never how to learn. So he made it his mission to change that. He built frameworks like Faster, Limitless, and the 10 Keys to a Super Brain. He made learning feel possible again, not just for himself, but for millions. He started sharing his story on YouTube, podcasts, classrooms, boardrooms, and it resonated because everyone at some point has felt slow, confused, or incapable. Jim made it okay to admit you're struggling, and more importantly, he offered a path forward. He became the bridge between science and success, not just another motivational speaker, but a living blueprint of what's possible, and the world noticed. Today, Jim Kwik trains some of the most brilliant minds in the world. Elon Musk's team, Google, Nike, Harvard, Hollywood actors, Olympic athletes, Fortune 500 CEOs. Why? Because he cracked the code. Learning is a skill, and once you unlock it, it unlocks everything else. Focus, memory, productivity, confidence, creativity, wealth. Jim teaches how to read a book in half the time with double the comprehension, how to memorize 50-digit numbers, how to upgrade your mindset from doubt to dominance. But beyond the techniques, he teaches something deeper. You are not broken. Your brain is not your enemy. It just needs the right instructions. The same way you wouldn't blame your phone for running slow without a software update. Stop blaming your mind for struggling when it's never been trained. Jim's story proves it. The kid who was told he'd never learn to read became the man who rewrote the rules on learning. He built a business that's now helping millions around the globe. He speaks on stages with Tony Robbins and Oprah Winfrey. He turns complex neuroscience into simple, actionable steps. And here's the urgent truth. Most people are stuck in lives far beneath their potential, not because of what they lack, but because of what they believe they lack. Your brain can grow. Your mind can evolve. Your story can change. But only if you stop waiting for permission and start training your greatest asset, yourself. If someone labeled the broken brain kid can do it, what excuse is holding you back? You want the dream lifestyle? Start with a trained mind. You want confidence, clarity, cash flow? Upgrade your brain first. Because success doesn't come to the smartest. It comes to those who know how to learn faster. And the best part? Your journey can start today. You don't need a new degree. You don't need a genius IQ. You just need one thing, a decision to no longer settle. A decision to never again say, I'm not smart enough. A decision to rebuild your belief. Because confidence doesn't start with talent. It starts with training. And the fastest way to unlock your next level? Train the one thing that drives everything else. Your mind. You just witnessed how one boy labeled broken rewrote his story and became a legend of the mind. But what if I told you there's another story, one even more urgent, more powerful? A man given only 6 months to live. Most would crumble under that weight, but he built a legacy that changed millions. If Jim's journey showed you what's possible when you train your brain, then this next story will show you what's possible when you refuse to let time or fate define you. Click now to watch. He was given 6 months to live, but built a legacy that changed millions. Because true greatness isn't just about brains or talent. It's about the fire that refuses to die. Don't miss it.